The issue of child abuse was very high up on the list. What is unexplained are the bruises on her body, the destructive behaviors. Why was this child so unhappy and miserable?
Had some fairly blunt statements about the use of that harness, which was approved by the ministry.
It was barbaric. I don't think you'd treat a dog or an animal in that way. It's very tragic and very sad, but when circumstances occur like that to create that perfect storm, then unfortunately a child dies.
There's blame that goes to the foster parent, blame that goes to the social worker, blame that goes, I mean, if you're gonna blame, there's a whole system to blame. And there are many children that are successful and aren't dying in foster care. We have, more than 70,000 children in care in Canada. We can't just walk away from them. My name is Gay Smith. I'm 55 years old. I've had 49 children and foster children, and I am the birth parent of 2, and I have an adopted son as well. Well, children come into care for a variety of reasons. I mean, for whatever reason, their parents are unable to parent them. Now, that could be because the parents are not able to, for their own substance abuse issues, or death, or divorce, whatever the family's going through, and add to it the trauma that these kids have been experiencing. For whatever reason, the parenting conflict, addiction issues, street-involved issues. The exploitation of teenagers, period, is horrible. It still makes me sick that a 15-year-old is, on the streets of Vancouver, working the streets. She's an addict, and somebody else is making a living off of her, and somebody else's grandfather's spending time with her in the sex trade business. There's some that I'm involved with. One of the young women that was in our home, well, she aged out of care, and she was a heroin addict, and she died on the streets of Maine and Hastings. And this was a kid who was so troubled, and she was fetal alcohol syndrome and wanting to reconnect with her birth family, and she was in adoption and an adoption breakdown, and she just didn't do well, and she died. And I always said, no more kids, no more, not on my watch. Children shouldn't die. I've worked a lot with kids, and Carrie was one of the toughest kids. Like, she's hardcore. I'd never worked with a kid as tough as Carrie.
I got a little bit too much for my parents to handle. It was their choice to place me into foster care. I also didn't give them a whole lot of choice in the matter. They just really couldn't handle me anymore. I was about 14 years old when I first met Gay. Gay made this cheese melted on bread in the oven for me, and that was it. I was hers for keeps. Oh! Oh! It's a good day.
It's a good day. Mama Gay? What does that mean to me? Oh, gosh. Carrie started calling me that about 2 weeks after she moved into the home. In fact, it was over the cheese in the oven. She just calls me Mama Gay. She's the only one who does. The other kids call me other things, but name that. Usually by, mom or whatever, but not, and my older, even my older kids that are older still call me Mummy.
So when I went into Gay's home, there just wasn't the pressure there. There was a lot of understanding. They allowed me to be able to just be me.
Do I want her to feel sorry for herself because she was a drug addict? No. I want her to take some action and do something about it. She did. But I always believed that she would. And I didn't ever go away from my beliefs about stuff like that. Don't you cry, Carrie.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay. I'm not gonna.
Okay. But I always believed that she would be successful no matter what she did. And I believe that with all of the kids that I worked with. And I worked, you know, I had 49 foster kids, all of them teenagers. I never took kids younger. I could never do that. I had some babies, but that was my girls who had babies. But, and all the kids that I've ever worked with, I just always believed that they have the ability to be successful just because they are. Just because they're who they are. What's your toast?
I started fostering about 8 years ago. I had no idea that this would be my path. I've had numerous kids in my home. I feel like I have sort of a step up in the sense that I have been there and I have been in foster care myself. So I felt like I had a bit of a grounding as to what I thought these kids might need. So I've been very fortunate that I've been able to give back what was given to me.
Well, Mom, I'm gonna see the birds.
Every child should have, needs to have, one person who's unconditionally committed to them forever. We have, you know, more than 70,000 children in care in Canada. We can't just walk away from them. If all you do is just sit there and watch this and say, oh, who's doing that? And I think maybe you need to start saying, what can I do? How can I make a difference? Because these are our young people and they will be our future. If you just sit back and do nothing, that's what's already been done, and we already know that doesn't work.